welcome back. This is Janella. I teach in St. Angelo and Abilene, and used to teach in Dallas and East Texas and West Texas and lots of places, and I'm making a whole bunch of videos today about things that will help you prepare for the all-region etudes regardless of whether you're doing UIL or ATSSB. And for this video, even if you're not in Texas, you can still use this video. So I wanted to take a moment to talk to you about note tapers. So a taper, T-A-P-E-R, is specifically how we end the note. What you're looking for with a good note taper is it should sound like you are in complete control of when the note stops speaking, regardless of whether or not you're in control. Like, you know, ideally we control everything we do on bassoon, but you know, the idea is that if you work really hard, you build in enough good habits that even if you mess something up, it sounds like you still know what you're doing. So the way that a note taper works is you're essentially going to put a very fast decrescendo on the last like tiny fraction of the note. So we usually think about tapering a note. Is this right side up? Yeah, I think so. So we taper this is what we think of. We think of like a decrescendo going to nothing, right? But that's actually really hard to do, especially on bassoon. You never know when the reed is just going to stop responding for you. So what I'm encouraging you to do instead is start a decrescendo, but concentrate the decrescendo at the very end. Like there's more of a decrescendo in the last tiny little section of the note you're playing. So if I were to try to just do a straight decrescendo, it would go something like that. I picked a really friendly note. I've had to do these a lot as an orchestral player. But when you're doing competitions, you're not an orchestral player, you're a solo player. So what I'm encouraging you to do instead is do a decrescendo, but it doesn't have to be a straight line. Show that you're decrescendoing, and at the very end, you increase the speed of the decrescendo. So like I'm gonna just play measures 13, 14, 15, and 16 of etude number 2. That's etude 20 out of the melody, so you can kind of hear what I'm talking about. There's two reasons that the taper is important. First of all, it helps you control what you're doing and you want to sound like you're in control. But second of all, we tend to not pay attention to the last note we play in a phrase. We're already thinking about what we need to do in the next measure. This is a way to keep your head focused on what you're doing immediately. And I can tell you from experience, this is the difference between a polished player and an unpolished player. It will increase how musical you sound by like 40 to 70%, just because it makes you sound like you're still paying attention to what you're doing. That also makes it easier for you to do things like control your pitch. It makes you sound much more deliberate in a good way. Like being purposeful when you play is different from not being artistic. Being artistic is all about having control over what you're doing. So note tapering, that's how you do it. I recommend you work on the note tapers with a tuner because you will probably go sharp as you play them. And some are easier than others. But it's a good skill for you to add to your toolbox. I hope this is helpful. Thank you very much.